Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Future of Money webinar. My name is Muhammad Wais Tahiryan, and today we are going to see if the future of money is with cryptocurrencies, because this is what it is about. This is what Halal Portfolio is about. We are trying to bring you the best of cryptocurrencies, inshallah. But this webinar will give you an overview of what it is. Is it halal? Are we going to be using cryptocurrencies in the future? How much money so far is being transacted through cryptocurrencies, and is it enough for it to become the future of money? Most of you that have joined this webinar are all beginners, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background about Halal Portfolio by the end of this. But before going to the end of this session, I'm gonna just introduce myself a little bit. My name is Muhammad Wais Tahiryan. I am the founder of Halal Portfolio. We try to find the cryptocurrencies that are halal, and we invest to them consciously, with proper risk management, with education, not through the hype, not without knowledge, because a lot of people, since the time that Bitcoin has come and then the new cryptocurrencies have emerged, has fallen into so many of the scams, has lost so much money. Because we don't go to the basics. We don't understand what it really is. Most of our scholars as well, in the beginning, they were saying that cryptocurrencies are haram and we should not use them. And they have their reasoning as well. But a lot of them lately, the majority of them has given fatwa that cryptocurrencies are actually halal. We're going to go and see why and how. Does it make sense to invest in cryptocurrency? How are we going to use it? If we're going to use it, is it too complicated? Does it make sense to sell our gold or our houses or everything else just to invest in cryptocurrencies? Or it's just a hype, it's going to go away like so many other things? We're going to go and see all of them. So let's start. So for today's agenda, it will be the new financial system that we're going to talk about, fundamentals of halal crypto investing, Shariah perspective on cryptocurrencies, the future of money, and also halal portfolio guide. So there are a lot of questions. I have just listed few of them for you guys here, so you actually see what are the most common questions. But the bigger one is, what is money? You can see here I have, is cryptocurrency halal or haram? How do people make money in crypto? What is Bitcoin? What is trading? What is blockchain? Is crypto real or tangible? What is cryptocurrency, right? What is leverage? These are some common questions which people, when they come first in cryptocurrencies, they fall into so many of the traps that they don't know which system to use, how to invest, how to actually grow inside this vast market that is being emerged. You know that recently Pakistan also legalized it, but they are working on the regulations, and UAE as well, Malaysia as well, United States, they want to put Bitcoin in their reserves. And they have allowed cryptocurrencies, businesses, and advertising that for many, many years, like at least it took 16, 17 years of how this technology has evolved and how people have accepted it so far. We're going to go and talk about all of it, inshallah. So the new financial system. Before we talk about what is the new financial system, we need to take a look at what is the old financial system. So what is money? Throughout the history, since the beginning of times, we as humans have used different things which are materials in this world, we have used it as a medium of exchange, or we have given value to certain things. For example, seashells, leather, gold coins. But before all of these, there were just goods to goods. If I needed something, I would ask for what I need. Let's say I need food, but instead I would have to give something. I will have to do something for you, or I would have to give something that I have and I possess. Now, it had some restrictions, it had some faults, it had some problems. We couldn't do it always. We couldn't do it outside a small community. It wasn't international, it wasn't global. If you used to have certain currency valued in one community in certain amount, in another community, it would be different. It would not have that much value, or it would have much more value than that. Now, this is the point that everybody makes a mistake, that what is the value itself? If everybody thinks that, for example, this cup of coffee is valuable and it has a price, then everybody wants it, right? If it's useful, obviously. If it solves a problem, then everybody wants it. Then the demand grows. And as the demand grows, the price of it grows as well. So this is how I see it. This is how I see money. But lately, the money and its meaning has changed. People think that money is basically everything. If you don't have money, which they call these fiat currencies, unfortunately, they think that their life is over, or they cannot do something, or they cannot actually provide value, which the driver of that value inside money comes from people, from whoever works, goods, services, different products, development in the society. All of these things is coming from whom? From human. And how does that work? Humans spend their time and energy that they have inside their bodies, right, to provide certain values to other human beings. Now, that value is stored inside currencies. Before, it used to be gold. It used to be gold coins or silver coins. It is, but not as money. It's just used as commodity and as jewelry and just a store of value. But to use it on day-to-day basis, we don't use gold anymore. We use fiat currency. What's wrong with fiat currency is that it creates inflation. Why? Because it used to be backed by gold before 1972, but now it's backed by nothing. Its only backing is that the government says that $1 is $1. Whenever you have your dollars, you can put it into the bank, you can use it. We give you that guarantee that it works. But when they keep printing money, when there's a lot of money in circulation, but there aren't enough value created, enough goods and services given, what happens is when people keep buying and purchasing, for example, if you live in the US, you would go to a bank, you have absolutely nothing. Maybe you have a house that is there, you want to get loan against it, or you have worked and built credit for the government for the past 5 or 10 years. You go and say, I want to start a business, give me $50,000. They will give you $50,000 out of nowhere, but they will print that money as a debt, and they would want it back from you with interest. So this is the crazy part, that when they give you this money, you haven't actually done anything. You go and make a business with that. You keep buying stuff. And if a lot of people in the world keep doing this thing, what happens is the value of goods and services increase, and the money supply also increase, but it lowers the value of the currency itself. If you have your savings into this currency, then it loses its value. If you're taking your salary in this currency, and each year it loses its value and everything else gets expensive, you actually lose. You're not in the winning side. Uh, so this is major problem. A lot of people in the world have recognized that. They have been tired of it. And that's when Bitcoin came to place. Like it was developed by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. Then nobody believed in it. Nobody were using it so much. Very few people on the internet. Then slowly inside the dark web, people started using it. Obviously, it was first used illegally because when something is so good and the competitor of dollar, obviously nobody allows it to be regulated, because what it does is it breaks the current financial system. The current financial system has given the power to the hands of the governments, those that they control this currency. All the governments, all the central banks, when I tell you these stuff, please go and recheck them. Go a little bit deeper into this rabbit hole and study more. You're going to enjoy it so much, and you're going to see how the old or classic slavery has changed its meaning and become into a new thing. Before, people used to be enslaved to the highest power. They would just give them food to eat and they would live, but do the hard work. But now everybody is enslaved to the central banks, to the money. Why? It's because of these fiat currencies. The only people that can print it more is the elites that control the money supply. They can always print more, they can always spend more, and you, as a citizen of a government, when you have life problems, you alone cannot do anything unless collectively people do something. A lot of other countries tried to make a new currency that is backed by gold, that is actually valuable and doesn't lose its value over time, but they have failed because it brings war. The New World Order, the creator of New World Order, and all these central banks that is inside every country, especially Muslim countries, that they provide interest. When you put your money in savings account, when you want to get a loan and pay interest against it, it basically have diluted every financial system in the entire world. Now, in the past, a lot of civilizations thought that they might be right, and they have done things, and they were also saying that we are civilized, we are much improved. Somebody's saying that my voice is breaking. Let me check what the Wi-Fi is connected, bro, and it has fast speed. I don't know what's wrong, but can you hear my voice? Is it breaking? Very much. Is okay? Okay, good. Let's continue. So where was I? Yeah. So I was saying that when everybody in the world keeps using this fiat currency and it keeps losing its value over time, obviously, eventually everybody gets tired of it. A lot of civilizations in the past, they thought they were right, but they were destroyed. So now we are Muslims. We need to understand what interest is, because this money that we're using is derived from the interest. That interest, when people pay back after taking loan, that interest holds back this currency a little bit. But the only people that benefits from it is the banks and the governments, the elites, the institutions. And they can always control the price of it. They can always manipulate it. They can always manipulate you as people all of us collectively through the media as well. And that's how they will always be in power, but we as people lose power, and we would never be ever like we will never be able to do anything against them. Now, Bitcoin, when it came, it was running inside the current system of internet. This network, which is a gigantic network that is used by billions of people around the world, it suddenly came and dominated that. Now, a single country cannot take that down. Nobody can. No single government can. I have made a full course about that. Inshallah, we're gonna keep uploading a lot in it as well, which I have talked about these a lot, that why it's such a good thing. But today we're gonna go and explore more about this, and inshallah talk how it's going to be emerged and what good it's going to bring to us. So basically, what I was saying is that when Bitcoin came, it was giving back the power from the governments to the hands of people. Because if everybody owns Bitcoin, if everybody uses Bitcoin on day-to-day basis, everybody holds Bitcoin as a store of value or as money. When money keeps flowing into this, when people keep purchasing Bitcoin over time, it literally becomes the new financial system. And because nobody can control it, everybody will have the power. And if nobody sells it and everybody starts using it, everyone wins. So this is how such a good thing it is. Now, what are cryptocurrencies? How did it come to being? And was it really invented? So I talked about this a little bit, but let me remind you guys again, because some of you are, again, beginners. So Bitcoin itself was the first cryptocurrency, but its name was just Bitcoin. The term cryptocurrency came later, after people started making other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, Solana, all of these. And USDT as well, which is the current US dollar as a form of crypto. But that's not what the definition of crypto should be. It doesn't have a limited supply. It's just US dollar. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, when it was created, the sole purpose for that was to be used as peer-to-peer money. So I can send you money, you can send me money without anyone intervening in between us. Nobody can ask for extra fee. Nobody can tell you to stop it or don't send it. No one can take that from you or steal it, because it literally lives in your mind, because you have the keys. So how does that work? Through cryptography. Obviously, it didn't happen overnight. It took a while for computers to get more developed. It took a while for the computer software to get more developed. Now, this new invention, which was an invention, which is cryptography, you can actually hide your password in a form of long digits that would take billions of years for the current modern computers to actually cipher it or to actually open it. So that's how this emerged, and people started using it, and they were like, this is such a great thing. Nobody can open it. Nobody can steal my money. Okay, unless you give them access. Obviously they can, but there are ways to secure it, and there are a lot of ways to secure it, so nobody can touch that. And there are some concerns as well about the quantum computer, but maybe we can talk about that some other time. It's a whole another topic. But currently, Bitcoin itself, as the first cryptocurrency, is so far the best one. We're going to talk about that a lot, but the other cryptocurrencies as well, they have lots of different use cases. You can build softwares on the same blockchain. You can use it. You can build websites inside it. You can build a new system of finance, which is called decentralized finance. The same way that Bitcoin doesn't have a center, nobody can control it, and it's distributed everywhere in the world. The same way, this new finance or the decentralized finance is also distributed like that, which is, for example, inside Ethereum and inside Solana, just as an example. Inshallah, we're going to talk about all of them. So it's a little bit about the Bitcoin itself. Now, let's talk about it. Now, this is like the story time. I'm going to talk a little bit from here there, so you can have an idea of what it really is. Now, Bitcoin uses computers, okay, literally computers, and the internet as its network. When you use Bitcoin's software inside your computer, you yourself cannot open it or see what's happening inside. You can only see what it's doing, but you cannot make any changes unless all the miners, which are all the computers, they all agree on the same thing. So we humans, we never agree on anything. So it has, like, nobody can change it. Nobody can do anything with it. How is its price derived? Now, a lot of people are thinking it's not tangible. It doesn't have a value. We cannot allow it, or we cannot basically use it. It doesn't have a physicality. Especially the Muslim scholars, they're saying it's not tangible. It doesn't have the physicality. That's the main thing and the main issue that they have. But for this, there is a lot of agreement with other scholars as well, that I myself agree upon this, that softwares inside computers can be sold. Why do you purchase a website? Why do you purchase a domain of a website? And why a domain of a website? Because it's unique, gets valued more. Why do you purchase an art? Even if it's inside, it's digital, right? So once something is digital inside a computer, it's basically stored as data inside hard drives. And it's a piece of code, 010101, like this. Now, what gives it value is what it does. If it solves a problem, if it actually brings value to people, then it becomes valuable over time. Now, because there's only 21 million Bitcoin in the entire universe, it is the most scarce, the hardest money, or the hardest thing ever made so good. Okay, so if you think about gold, it is very, very hard to mine, and it's also expensive to mine. But is it harder than Bitcoin? No. People, obviously, they can always find a new gold mine, and there will be always more gold in the universe. We still don't know how much gold is, who knows, in the moon or in some other planets. But one thing we can be sure of, that there is only 21 million Bitcoin, because it is programmed that way. It is mathematically possible to make something this scarce. Now, the value of this over time is derived by the miners using electricity. So when I put a miner at my house and I want to participate into this network that keeps saving the data, which is a ledger, which it just says that this person has this much Bitcoin, the other person has this much Bitcoin. When they send money, it records that, and it records all of the transactions, all of the miners together. they record it and it becomes blocks. And those blocks are saved again and again over a period of time. And after each 4 years, sorry, before I move on to this. So once they do this, they're paid certain amount of Bitcoin from the Bitcoin supply, which that's why they're called miners. Now, obviously, they're using their electricity, which is very costly these days. If you mine a Bitcoin, it is really hard to come close to break even. But when they want to sell it, they want to sell it into a certain price, right? After you collect some fees, after you solve a problem and you gather some Bitcoin, you will not sell it obviously for cheap. That's how it became valuable over time. And also because what loses value is the other currencies that they keep printing, which has inflation. So US dollar, pound, Afghanistan's currency, which is Afghani, or Indian rupees or Pakistani rupees, all of these are all fiat currencies. You can just, burn a little bit of it and the government is going to print more of it, right? And that's how it keeps losing value over time, because they can keep printing. But Bitcoin, you cannot print more. And it is secured by maybe millions of miners so far. Now, as we move forward, people are interested more into this thing, in Bitcoin itself, and mining Bitcoin. So I'm just talking about Bitcoin because if I can make you first understand what Bitcoin is, then we can get to that point to see if this is actually the future of money. Otherwise, we cannot. And because it is a bit complicated, people don't want to use it. It's just a little bit complicated. It keeps getting mature. People are making such a good apps for the transferring of Bitcoin, which you can do in seconds nowadays through different networks. And it becomes easier and easier to be used and stored safely. So let's go and see how does this system of cryptocurrencies work, the transformation of physical energy to digital energy. Yes, so when we as humans, we work hard, we make money into this physical world, right? For me, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a web designer, I have a digital marketing company before starting Halal Portfolio. So what I was doing, I was making money from there, right? So let's say I also mine Bitcoin, which I don't. Let's say I do. I take value that I created for other people that they paid me in cash or in fiat money, let's say US dollar or Turkish lira, whatever. I use that money to build this infrastructure of miners, right? I use that money to mine Bitcoin and participate into this network so I can get Bitcoins in return. What it does is literally transfers my time and energy to that cash. I pay it to somebody else, right? I buy these miners, and over time, I also pay to the electricity, which it just keeps transferring money from one wallet to the other, and it saves the data. And it secures the network, which I get paid back into Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is my time and energy stored into this virtual world. Now, does that make sense to you? This is the exact thing that a lot of people are missing out when they think about cryptocurrency. They're like, it doesn't have a physicality. I wrote an entire article about this that if you can go and check it out in joinhalalportfolio.com/articles. And it basically says that in the quantum levels, in the smallest particles, when we go and see, everything is information. Everything you see, me, my face, my eyes, everything is built of small pieces of atoms, then that atom has neutron, proton, electron. And yeah, even our thoughts, they are neurons sending data to each other, which together they hold this data, right? And that's the same thing that these hard drives does. It saves that data through electricity and through magnets. Now, if you argue that this is not physical, then am I here sitting in front of you? Do I exist? I exist now, but after I die and I disappear, where did I go? Can you argue that I didn't exist before? How does that work? So in quantum level, nothing exists. And what is left is, it's just Allah. And this entire power that you see, this entire universe is working because Allah wants it. It is Allah's command. It's His word. He says be, and it is. Everything exists. So if you say Bitcoin doesn't exist, it doesn't make sense to me. Then gold also doesn't exist, right? So that's my argument, that go and check in quantum level, you cannot find any particles. In the smallest particle that so far scientists have found is called bosons, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So what that particle does is it exists for a second here, then it disappears into nothingness, then it appears here. And both of these particles, which is same particle, they only exist in superposition, which is a little bit complicated. I'm not gonna go into that, but you get the idea that it exists and it doesn't exist at the same time. Now, everything in the universe works like that because everything is built of those small particles and everything goes back to nothing. So as long as Bitcoin is there, it is as physical as gold is for me. And now we're going to, inshallah, talk about how it is going to be changing the world if every one of us start using it and actually accepting it as a currency. Then after this, I'm inshallah going to talk about why it is halal and why do people say it is haram as well, which I did talk a little bit, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. So this technology represents a fundamental shift in how we control exchange value, which is especially relevant for the Muslim world. Why? Because the current fiat currency that we use, if they say that Bitcoin is haram, I say there is nothing more haram than the current US dollar, the current fiat currencies that we use. If you ask them why are we using it, then they will say, well, it's money. We cannot do anything because those people that they created it is now it's embedded so much into our financial system that we can't do anything about it. We can only use it, but we're not going to take interest, you know. But you can see that all these banks exist everywhere in the world. And also they say Islamic banking, which is not the same as the interest-based banking, but it is the same. They just changed the name. If you go and study a little bit deeper, if you study how their value is derived, then you're going to know that even Islamic banking is not so Islamic. Very few banks are there, but the majority of them is not Islamic. Now, coming to the Bitcoin, it is always open. You can always transfer. If you have millions of dollars, you can transfer it. Or if you have $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, you can transfer it without any border. You can just take a plane, go to the other part of the world, right? You can just get access to internet and open an app and have access to your Bitcoin. Nobody can stop you because it lives on the blockchain. It lives on the internet. Self-custody, You yourself have the ability to control it, to transfer it, to own it. Nobody else. If your money is inside the exchanges, it works the same as banks, which you put your money into the bank. But if you take the ownership of it, if you download an app, which is simply as uh, downloading it in your phone, uh, then you can create your own wallet inside the blockchain with your own keys. You can transfer those keys inside a USB, which is called a ledger as well. You can search those USBs if you want to use it, but I prefer just to have that code in my mind and always be able to open it. It just gives you access to the blockchain, and only you have control over it, nobody else, unless you give them the keys. Transparency, it provides open data to everybody. You can see the records of how much money is transferred from one wallet to the other, which it removes a lot of shady things that happens with the current cash system that we have, with the current fiat money that we have. People say that Bitcoin is such a bad thing because you cannot stop criminals from using it. You cannot stop criminals from using anything, you know. When they want something, they do it. You cannot stop them from using US dollar. You can go and read a little bit of history and see how much bloodshed has happened in the past because of this dollar, and how much money laundering has happened inside this current financial system, even through the banks. So you cannot stop that. You cannot stop criminals from using it either. But this gives us transparency that from which wallet, how much money is transferred where. You can always verify it, which is instant. You cannot easily, quickly verify gold. You have to take it to a jeweler, or you have to have that machine to check it, which is also expensive. These are the things, but Bitcoin, you can. Now, when it comes to the cryptocurrencies, there's a little bit difference between the coins and the tokens. So let me make it very, very simple for you that Bitcoin itself, it doesn't have the second or the third layer whatsoever. People have tried building some things in it, but they have failed. But it is a coin. It is the main currency of a blockchain. You can think of it this way. For example, Solana is the main currency of the Solana blockchain. Ethereum is the main or the native currency of the Ethereum blockchain. And they have their own usage, their own utility. But when you go inside Ethereum blockchain, there are softwares, there are decentralized finance systems, there are companies, different things, NFTs and whatnot, meme coins. All of these things are examples of a token, which is built on top of the current blockchain. So if you have a very good idea or a very good system, you can go and use the Ethereum blockchain, you can build something on it, that becomes a token. It is not the native currency of that blockchain, but that token, which is also a currency, lives inside that blockchain. For example, Uniswap is a marketplace for all these tokens, and itself is a token which lives inside the Ethereum blockchain. Guys, if you have any questions regarding whatever I say and you don't understand, please, please ask me in the end of this session, because once we are done with the slides, we will go to your questions. Inshallah, I will answer all of them. We're going to have a 10-minute break after a while, not now. Then if any questions remain, you can ask me inside the community. I will happily answer all of them so I can help you understand and think about this.
Can I ask you a question?
No, you cannot ask right now. Please mute your mic, because once we're done, then we're gonna go to your questions. Okay,
Okay, sorry.
no problem. Types of cryptocurrencies. So there are different types of cryptocurrencies that are currently being built, which I told you one is the currency token, which is purely for exchange of value, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Solana, Ethereum. All of these are used as currency. Then you have utility tokens that gives you access to their products, to their services within that specific network, be it Ethereum network or Solana network. There are asset-backed tokens, which represents ownership in physical assets like gold, real estate, or commodities, which a very good example of that is PAX-G, which is the gold, which is the digital form of gold, you can say, which is a cryptocurrency that is backed by gold. The price of it moves as the price of gold moves. So, like, I don't know if you like it. You can go and do a little bit research about it, but personally, I don't own it at the moment. I used to own it a while ago. Okay. Equity tokens represent ownership in a company project like tokenized shares. So, for example, these stock market shares that are currently being tokenized as form of cryptocurrency, those are called equity tokens. You can get a share of, let's say, Apple, not as a stock, but as a token, which works the same way once if Apple decides to have its shares tokenized. So that is also that. Then you have revenue tokens, which is entitle holders to a share of future revenues, which this is basically you hold a token. So once a company makes money, they can give you the revenue of that company to you. Then there are debt tokens, which represents loans or IOUs issued by an entity, like basically like borrowing, lending, all these kinds of tokens, which is obviously haram and you should never use those. Work governance tokens, providing voting or participation rights within a blockchain ecosystem. So there are coins that when you hold them, you are given the right to go and vote. So if the majority of people votes, then there's a change that happens within that blockchain. If they want to upgrade their system, if they want to add a feature, those work like that. So what are the types of trading? Which types of trading are there that are halal? Which types are haram? First, I'm going to go through this, how you can own them and how you can keep it, or if you want to invest. I'm not here to promote anything inside except Bitcoin. If you want to own or hold anything, the only thing that I can promote is Bitcoin. Other than that, I am never going to tell you that this is buy this coin, you're going to get rich, but use Bitcoin. Buy it, use it. That's what I can tell you. But if you want to hold it, you need to get some education for that, which we're going to talk about. But now let's see what are the types of trading. So one is a spot trading, which is permissible, which is halal. You buy and own a cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin, if you buy it, you purchase it through exchanges, you actually given the ownership because you can withdraw that, you can send it to anybody you want, and it does not have any interest tied to it. No Ribba, no borrowing or lending or these kind of stuff. You cannot borrow through spot. Profit comes from real price movement. So you make profit when you hold an asset for a long period of time. When it becomes more valuable, then if it's up to you that if you want to use it to purchase something, let's say Bitcoin, some years back, you could have bought a house with 10 Bitcoins. Now you only need 1 Bitcoin to purchase an apartment, let's say in Turkey or let's say in Afghanistan, right? But now you need 1 Bitcoin. So the price of Bitcoin increased in few years. It went 1,000% higher, which now you only need 1 Bitcoin to buy. So the rule here is if you own the asset and trade with your own capital, it's halal. So it doesn't mean that you should go get some money, borrow it from the bank, and pay interest. It should be your own capital, your own money. If you wanna, like, you can borrow money to purchase it, but it's not recommended to do that because if you cannot pay it back quickly to somebody, like not as interest, let's say you want to borrow it from your father, it's not recommended because if you need that money back or if you want to pay them back, and because Bitcoin price goes up and down very fast, and you bought somewhere that now you're in loss, then you'll have to sell in loss and do it. But if it's your money and you do it systematic over time, then yes, you can do that. Okay, types of trading. The second part, which is leverage, futures, or you can say any type of borrowing that you do or taking leverage against your money. You have $100, but you want to trade $1,000. Let me give you a guarantee that nobody, especially non-believers, those that they do not believe in Allah, nobody's going to give you their money without interest. Trust me. If you go into futures trading, if you go into any type of leverage, which is inside Forex, margin trading, all of these, lending, borrowing, do not do any of those because they're all permissible and impermissible, and they're all haram. They involve interest, high uncertainty, which is gharar. When you increase your leverage, your risk of losing your own capital increases as well. You do not know, nobody knows where the price goes, and you basically enter there to gamble all your money. And it also does not give you any kind of ownership. You do not own that asset. You basically open a position. You say, like they do with the gold, they say, buy me this much gold and I will pay the difference, right? You have a trust with somebody, with a broker. You say, buy me this much gold. And once the price changes, you say, sell me that, and the difference, if you are in profit, you're going to take your profit from that person, or if you're in loss, you have to pay them. But you don't own it. You have no intention of owning it. So intention in Islam is very important. If you want to own something, you need to go buy it first, own it, then you can sell it to anybody. And there's a Sahih hadith that our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ talks about this. You need to own something first. So Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, they give you proof of ownership if you buy them through spot. It's the same for the shares of halal stocks, but we're not going to talk about that. I just give you as an example. But for crypto, you have the ownership. You own it. You keep it with you. And it's pure speculation. You just enter with a lot of uncertainty. You say that the price is going to be this much, and because it keeps going up and down, and you take leverage and you want to make money in short period of time, within a minute, within 15 minutes, within 1 hour, these are all haram. Pure speculation is haram. You cannot actually do that. So the rule here is, if leverage or non-ownership is involved, it's not halal.
So what's the difference between pure leverageship and you're saying, and what's the difference between the pure analysis? If a person knows the analysis and
Brother, if you have any question, I'm inside the webinar, I'm talking. Keep it for the end so I can finish this, then we can talk about it. No problem. As many questions as you have, I will answer them, okay?
Okay, sorry.
Let's go in the Sharia perspective, a deep dive into the Islamic foundation. So Islam says, Allah says in Quran, that Allah has permitted trade and forbidden Ribba. This is in Surah Baqarah, and there are a lot of places as well that Allah mentions that trading is different, interest is different. So you should not make a mistake. Trading is allowed. You can do as much trading as you can, but interest We're gonna talk about that in a second. So this is also a warning from our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that I said, O Messenger of Allah, a man comes to me wanting to buy something which I do not have. So should I sell it to him and then go buy it from the marketplace? The Prophet ﷺ replied, do not sell what you do not own. I just told you this earlier, that ownership is very important. And once you own it, then there's no problem with it. So this is also from Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, which he says, do not allow anyone to trade in our market who does not understand the rulings of trade, for he may unknowingly fall into Ribba. Any of you that want to do business, this is my humble request. If you want to be successful, like really, really successful as a Muslim, before entering any market, be it physical markets, be it buying and selling clothes, get some knowledge about how it works, how things are done, because things have become diluted so much that this is from 1400 years back. But imagine how things are going now. It always becomes difficult for Muslims to earn halal. That's our challenge. That's our test. But Allah has given us the guarantee that this world is going to die. What are we going to do with all the wealth that is there if we are not healthy, if we are falling into the sin? And clearly, interest is war against Allah and the Messenger of Allah. How can you do trading through interest? And this is very, very common everywhere. If you search any trading group, if you find anywhere trading on anything, be it Forex, be it stocks, be it cryptocurrencies, 99% of the time, you fall into a group of people that are trading with futures. And if you argue with them, then they bring their own favorite quotes from Quran and they say, well, I am doing this. Bro, you can't. When the majority of ulama, which they study for 5, 6, 7, 10 years with all their experience, everyone says that this type of trading is haram. You go and justify it just because you want to make money. And let me tell you one more thing. Nobody makes money from futures trading except those that are trying to sell you the signals. They can always make money through their content and put it back into the market. And there are very tiny percentage of all these traders that trade with taking a lot of stress, very tight risk management, a very good system that works for them. They can actually control themselves and their emotions. They can make money with leverage. And when you see them, you suddenly think, well, I can do that too. Then you go and fall into this trap, which nobody makes money, trust me. But with a spot, you can. With spot trading of stocks as well, you can. With trading and making money through hard working in any business, you can make money, except this one that is a very big trap. So I always repeat this in every single video, everywhere that I make, because I have been through it. I have been through it since 15 years. In 2011, I started Forex trading, okay? Since then, some people told me what it is, and I wasn't there. I wasn't accepting it because of my own ego, because I was saying that I know everything, and they don't know anything. Until I realized myself, until I went a little bit deeper and into understanding how the systems of the world works. In one side, I was praying to Allah saying that I want to earn money that is halal. On the other hand, I was doing something that was haram. And thank God that I didn't make a lot with futures or with trading in forex. I basically lost whatever that there was, alhamdulillah. Which then I made money from stock market. I recovered all the losses in the stock market. Then I came into the crypto. Inshallah, I'm gonna talk a lot about this because this actually comes from my heart. I really feel bad when I see people falling into this trap and not making money, which for the past 5 years, when I came to Bitcoin, I keep telling this to literally everyone. Wherever I meet people like this, I'm like, bro, I have been into this. Some people mind it too. Some, not just some, a lot of them that I said these things, they mind it so much that they actually stop talking to me. So I understand what you guys are trying to do, but what is right, what is wrong, and I will say it. And that's why I made Halal portfolio, because we take the hardest route to Jannah. This is the hardest thing, and this is the hardest project that I have made in the past 2 years, because there are very tiny amount of people, there are very few people that are interested in halal earning through crypto. First of all, there are very few people in crypto space, but wherever you find them, they're trading futures. And you cannot convince them, because they see those gains. They become gambler. And trust me, people that have gambling habits are more interested into that. So let's stop that here. I'm gonna inshallah make a full video about it. We're gonna talk about it there. But let's go to this Sharia opinions. And once I finish this, we're gonna take a break. Then we're gonna continue it after 10 minutes. So there are two ways we can see it. There are the institutions like SAC Malaysia and also Sharia Review Bureau of Bahrain, which these people say that cryptocurrencies does not have global acceptance, and because they are not backed by real projects or real commodities, they have given fatwa that it's not halal. And I forgot to mention some other institutions here that they said halal, but I have said as individual scholars that these are very great scholars. You can go and research about them, like Mufti Faraz Adam and Mufti Abdul Qadir Barakatullah. So all of these people that I have mentioned here, they view crypto as an evolution of money. Halal, if accepted and used as payment, accepts Bitcoin as currency with conditions that there are no speculation involved. Permissible if asset has lawful utility and clear purpose. Now, Mufti Faraz Adam especially, he has worked a lot regarding this. You can search about his perspective. There are PDFs, there's his entire website. You can go and do more in-depth research about whatever he has said and which cryptocurrencies are halal. We also try to bring you that. We find these cryptocurrencies that are halal. We invest into them according to that. We do not go into those. So here it is a institution that they have, okay, I made a mistake. So all these institutions, they have said, and all these individuals, they have said that it is permissible. While these institutions, like this institution, Darul Ifta Egypt, Darul Ifta Palestine, Wafiq al-Ulama UK, they have declared it as impermissible. And why? Because of extreme volatility and a speculative nature, which they say it has gharar in it. Frequent misuse and illicit activities, lack of intrinsic value as currency, high uncertainty and future valuation. So these are their concerns, which most of them are solved if you study, if you learn investing, because most people fall into the speculative nature of it because they do not know investing. They're like, Bitcoin is going to go to $100 million or $10 million or $1 million. I'm going to put all my life savings and whatever money I have, and they go through the hype and they assume and speculate that the price is going to be this much, which it doesn't happen very quickly. It might take 10 to 20 years. So that approach is prohibited. If you have proper education, you can do it through probabilities, which is very natural. You let the price come down, you let the price get very cheap, you start investing, which it will not hurt you. You take it as an investing for the future. So you can see there are some of these scholars, which are the individual scholars like Mufti Farazada, Mufti Abdul Qadir Barakatullah, Sheikh Dr. Adnan Al-Zahrani, Dr. Munzir Kaf. They all consider crypto legal, lawful, which is halal, and they consider it as wealth, al-mal, that you can own it, you can trade it, and once it's widely accepted, you can use it. And we know now why it is not widely accepted, because if they do, what happens to US dollar? What happens to the current corrupt financial system? So it doesn't go without a fight. And once we, inshallah, keep moving forward to the future and people start using it, it becomes more legalized, more regulated. But it's our job to create more awareness, to educate ourselves, to learn it when it is at its early stages, like 15 years, no, sorry, 17 years for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency being there is still early. Gold has been there forever, right? But suddenly, this market has come and disrupted that entire industry within 17 years, which you can see the momentum it has, you can see the potential it has. So conclusion here, cryptocurrencies can align with Sharia principles. Sharia compliance depends on project specific and token types. So there are different types of cryptocurrencies that can be halal or can be haram. I told you the lending and borrowing and those protocols, they are haram. And the institution that we follow, which is Shariah Life, they basically do filtering of all these cryptocurrencies. They do screening, they go into their white paper, they see if they have anything involved with which is haram, and especially meme coins that you should avoid, they're all haram. And yeah, types of crypto, mostly the blockchain tokens like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, these ones are allowed, but there are some blockchain coins that are not halal as well. So you can go and check with Shariah Life as well, which we are also building that system. You can go and join halalportfolio.com /screening. You can go and see all the list of cryptocurrencies that we keep adding on daily basis, which ones are halal, which ones are haram. It's for free there. You can go and check them out. A thorough Sharia screening process is vital. So every coin that comes there that has the potential, it should go through these scholars, through their in-depth study that if something is halal or haram. Ongoing Sharia audits and governance are required. There is always this research required because some of these blockchain coins like Ethereum, they can always make an upgrade. And if there is a change that makes it impermissible, then later on it can become impermissible. But if for now something is permissible, then it's permissible. And if something for now is impermissible, then in future that can become permissible. That is also possible. So I hope I made that clear. There is significant potential for Sharia compliant crypto assets. So you see, that is the conclusion for this. Is cryptocurrency the future of money? We're going to talk about this after a break, which is going to be for 10 minutes. And I will see you guys, inshallah, after the break. So is cryptocurrency the future of money? Future is unpredictable, but present data is evident. You can say that we know future, but nobody knows future except Allah. And The only thing that we can see, we can understand the probabilities through the current data. If we have good data right now, we can say that it's possible that the future will be like this or like that, or how is the data like? Let's go and see. Adoption and users. So far, worldwide, there are 480 to 500 million people that they own Bitcoin. 3 to 50 million addresses have meaningful Bitcoin, which is over or equivalent to $1. 950,000 people, which is less than a million people, holds equivalent of 1 or greater BTC, which is the top 0.2% of all the Bitcoin addresses. Over 200 million wallets own 0.01 BTC, which is around $8,000 right now, greater than that or equivalent to 0.01 BTC. Market size and capital inflow. Current price, which at the time that I was preparing this presentation, it was 91,900 to 2,100 US dollars. But right now it is around $82,000 or $81,000. I am not even sure because I haven't checked, but that's the current price. The market cap of it is $1.84 trillion. And the Bitcoin dominance, which is the most dominant cryptocurrency in the entire space, is 58.7%. What it means is that 58.7% of the entire money in the crypto space is in Bitcoin. US Bitcoin ETF inflows, first 2 trading days of 2026, 1.2 billion, like it's lesser than 1.2 billion. Recent signal peak, which is 697 million on single day, which people are trading, buying and selling. 2025 total inflow, which the total money that came through these ETFs was $21.4 billion. Now, this is just the Bitcoin spot ETFs, which is given through BlackRock and some others like Vanguard. The price performance and growth. The circulating supply, which is the current Bitcoin available in the circulation, or that you can say in the hands of people, which are in the exchanges and in the wallets of people, is 19.97 to 19.98 million BTC. The max supply is 21 million fixed forever. The remaining 1 million Bitcoin will be mined until 2140. Why is that? Is because every 4 years, it is embedded in the software of Bitcoin that after every 4 years, the production or the mining of Bitcoin, which is handled by all the miners, which I just explained, they are halved, or they become half than what it was the previous years. So every 4 years that happens, which the next one comes in 800 something days, which is after 2.5 years something. So every time that this happens, less Bitcoin comes in the market. So what does that mean? When there is less Bitcoin coming in the market, the demand grows when people starts adapting, when people hears about Bitcoin and they see it as such an asset, which I talked about how good it is. You can see that the demand always grows up, and the historical outperformance versus major asset remains extreme. So Bitcoin since 2011 has done 20 million% in price performance. It has grown by 20 million%, which is insane, right? Daily transactions of Bitcoin is 355,000 to 400,000, as the recent data on January 9th is 355 5.655 transactions per day. Transaction per second is 47 transactions per second, and the Lightning network or the base layer. Transaction per minute is 240 to 420. Total historical transaction is lesser than 1.29 billion transactions. So you can see that on-chain activity, or the data that we can see how people are using Bitcoin, is actually great. Bitcoin versus global assets. So you can see that in here we have real estate, which is 330 trillion total value of all the real estate in the world. Bonds are 300 trillion, equities 115 trillion, money supply 120 trillion, gold 23.21 trillion, which just recently it went, I think, around 40 trillion. This is an old chart, but it doesn't matter. The thing that matters is this 2.23 trillion, which is, it's in this data, which is the peak of Bitcoin price. It was just 2 trillion, right? So you can see that Bitcoin is still very small against all this much money, and the money that flows into Bitcoin, because it's the hardest asset that cannot be created more of, keeps flowing into this digital capital, or this digital currency, or this digital commodity. So you can see that Bitcoin says that I'm here, which is very small compared to all these. And you can see how much room it has to grow, which you can say that Bitcoin is the magnet that pulls money from all of these and itself. Why? Because all these assets that we have, you cannot even compare it to how good Bitcoin is. But I told you why it is still undervalued is because we as humans think about the tangibility and the usability of different things, but people have literally sold their houses and they're living on rent so they can own Bitcoin. They are selling their dollars or their fiat currencies so they can own this piece, a little piece of Bitcoin, which can be much more valuable in the future. And the same as gold, because this is the digital gold. What about the crypto market? So the entire crypto market is valued 3.15 trillion. So this is from CoinMarketCap. You can go and check it. You can see that it keeps growing over time. And you can see the dominance of other assets too, that there is Ethereum, BNB, Solana, XRP, whatever. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin is still the best one, which, yes, there are some of them that are useful. And every single day, the volume is $111 billion. People are buying and selling these cryptocurrencies and this volume every day. What about Bitcoin versus other cryptocurrencies? You can see that this orange line is Bitcoin's dominance. This blue line is Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, which is the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies, is this gray line that has dominated this entire cryptocurrency space. What about the alt season? Because people expect altcoins to perform much better against Bitcoin, but there are very few of them that they do. In the past, we had a lot of these alt seasons happening, but recently it didn't happen. Like the last cycle, which ended in October 2025, we didn't get the alt season that people wanted because things are shifting. People are realizing that most of the time these alt seasons were because of the hype, because of a speculation. A lot of people were just coming here to bet on the price of things rather than actually using it. And as we move forward to the future, this market gets more mature. What doesn't work will never work, like meme coins. They're all dying, and it's for good. And if we only go and start gambling on those and don't actually value uh, how this blockchain works, if we don't develop it seriously, don't take it seriously, just think about the gains, then this industry will die. But so far, the only great asset that had its alt season was Bitcoin, and few currencies that they actually provide value, they had their alt season, but everything else, I mean, their rally or their performance season, but everything else just keeps dying over and over. Bitcoin from its depth, which was around $16,000 in 2022, went to $125,000, which was 8 times. Now, another thing is the social interest. So if you see for the past 12 months, this is just the past 12 months, nobody searches when the price of crypto is down, and people leave that space. The only time they come and they adapt and they buy when they see some gains happening, when they see other people making money, they buy right at these points, which they eventually come late and they lose. It shows this chart. You can go into Google Trends and search the term cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. You can see how this works, and it shows you the psychology of the majority of people in the world, that they only come when they see some green lights into something, which it's already too late, and they expect that Bitcoin should go up from there, which that's not the good time to invest. The good time to invest is when nobody is interested. So I'm not saying that this is the great time to invest. We should always do our analysis to find out if it is a good time or if it's not a good time. But this chart just shows you that from June, July until August, which was the peak of it, the social interest was going really, really good in 2025 because Bitcoin was performing very well and altcoins as well. People got interested, but now because they came late, then they come and then they complain that they lost money in it, which basically it's not losing if you hold it for a very long time, but because you bought in a wrong place, it can be said that you have lost money. Now, so after seeing all this data, is cryptocurrency the future of money? Yes, because everybody slowly gets tired from this traditional financial system. People in the US have tried their very best to create a lot of development for cryptocurrency, and other countries like El Salvador as well. They're using Bitcoin. You can literally buy potatoes from somebody that is selling it outside with your Bitcoin. And recently, this year on, since August, sorry, not this year, like in 2025, since August, the regulation for cryptocurrency started in Pakistan as well. And I said, like in so many countries, it is becoming legalized to use it, to own it, because they cannot stop it. Now they have to at least allow the regulations happen so they can come and see who is doing money laundering, who is using it in illegal ways, which is a good thing. And the only thing that I am against is the stable coins that they are pushing so much. But I think if we see it from another perspective, if they allow stable coins to be used, it can bring a lot of money to go back into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But on the other hand, if you just keep using stable coins, I'm gonna make another video about it, that how bad it is to actually do that. Because if I say it in short, is United States want to solve their debt issue, which is 38 trillions, by actually giving this a stable coin and promoting it, like giving it to all the people in the world So once they use it and pay a fee, they can actually remove their debt, which is a very dangerous thing. And that you can say that they want people in the world to solve their debt issue. They partied, they spent money on wars, they have created all these wars, they have devalued their currency, they have destroyed economies of a lot of countries in the past 40, 50 years by doing this, just because they had what, nuclear power, and they kept threatening people like that, and they bought all the corrupt politicians. That will end if Bitcoin is there for us to use. And there is a paradigm shift that is happening, and everybody should see that the more digitalized we become, the more cryptocurrencies are being used, because it's fast, it is actually scarce, it works 24/7, it has all the good things you want in money. It is the most ethical money in the world. I would argue that it is the most halal money in the world right now that we can use. So it is quite possible for it to become the future of money. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. I'm not going to tell you to come and purchase this or that or buy Bitcoin and you're going to become a millionaire. I will leave you with the information that we just talked about, so you can better understand if it's actually a good thing and if it's going to become the future of money. So we should at least own a little bit, right? If all the gains are going to happen inside Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and these current currencies that we have are going to die, all these assets are going to become devalued, because they can always create more real estates. There is always more gold, but there is only 21 million Bitcoin in the world. So I'm going to leave you with this. We're going to move into what's inside Halal portfolio. And what is our mission inside this, and what are we trying to achieve? So why do we exist? When I was trading, I went into so many groups. I went and studied from so many teachers. What they were all teaching was futures trading. Very small communities that were not even Muslims, they were doing spot crypto trading. I have learned the mechanism of trading, which is totally allowed. You learn supply and demand, you learn technical analysis, you learn on-chain analysis, you see the sentiment of how the people's minds work, you learn the emotions behind how the price moves and the economy of the world. That is totally halal. But the only thing that people are missing out is that they should do it in a spot. I'm not saying people don't do it, they just do it for the long term. But if you want to make money on day-to-day basis, on monthly basis, on short term and the long term, and you want to hold some assets, you need to create a portfolio that is halal. So we find those cryptocurrencies that are halal. We find the cryptocurrencies that are fundamentally good. And most of the time, because Islam puts everything in a very restricted environment, it makes sure that if there is a cryptocurrency, everything is aligned with our values. It actually is the most valuable. Why? Because it does not involve scams, it does not involve interest, it will not harm society, it becomes ethical, it becomes Islamically sound, then it's good for everybody, it's good for the entire world. Now, our mission is to teach Muslims how to understand blockchain and crypto, invest and trade through the lens of Sharia, which is the Islamic finance. How to understand blockchain technology, how to avoid systems in crypto, how to avoid haram systems in crypto, how to invest with purpose and understanding, how to trade with discipline and remain profitable, because discipline is basically in all the businesses. If you don't have that discipline and that mentality and that system for yourself, you're going to fail. Because there are people that are more disciplined than you, and you are competing against them. So who's going to win? The one that is obviously trying harder and better, and the one that has knowledge and discipline, those will always become profitable. And those that are emotionally weak, they always jump from one business to the other, and they cannot make a system for themselves, they are going to lose. And that's the hard part here, because people are becoming lazier every single day. They don't want to make money, but there is no shortcut for money. And Islam also doesn't allow any shortcut. It does not allow you to gamble. And even if you do so, if you make money through lottery or gambling, you're going to lose it back because you didn't put any hard work in the first place. So those are the real things that we need to focus on. And that is our mission inside Halal Portfolio as well. I literally help every single one of you for free if you join inside the community, just in the community. But if you want to learn further, which I will be involved to teach you every step of the way, that would be having a certain less fee, but everything else is absolutely for free. Our YouTube channel is for free. All the social media, all the awareness that we create, everything is there for you to actually learn and study how it works. So yeah, and also how to build a halal portfolio. Because if we think that this industry is going to succeed, then we need to have assets that are halal, not the ones that are haram, not the meme coins, not the ones that are gambling coins. So yeah, there is a free module as well, which covers a lot of things inside YouTube for now. Before it was inside our course. 200 people have joined. They are still studying. But inside the premium, which we take you every step of the way to learn how to invest and where to invest to remain profitable, we teach you all of that. It has a complete course from the beginner to advanced, deep research on Sharia compliant coins. We take you like into private groups, and we teach you everything there, which will be just for you. And you will have direct access to me and direct access to every week that we do analysis, every week that we like, it's basically mentorship. And how I build my portfolio, which coins that I am holding. So whenever I am not going to tell you to buy and sell this coin unless I do it myself. If I buy something, I'll say that I bought it. But that does not mean you should go and invest in it. You need to learn everything, and this signals or these trades is part of education. Please don't take it as every other signal group, because that really offends me. It's not signals. I didn't even want to put it there, but it's part of the education. You need to see where I buy and sell, so you get good at it. I literally put every single thing, where I buy it, where I sell it, and sometimes I hold them, sometimes I'm fully in cash. So that's how it works. And if that's what you want to do, if you want to learn it, then it's there for you. So far, alhamdulillah, we have 220 plus students, 300 WhatsApp members, 360, sorry, and 21 5-star reviews. Thank you guys for giving us the reviews. And we have reached 15 countries, which is a great achievement for me personally. So thank you and alhamdulillah for that. So our vision here together is Halal Portfolio is not just an education system, it's a movement to reshape how Muslims learn, earn, and grow through cryptocurrencies. Together, we will build an economy of knowledge, one that brings barakah, peace, and empowerment to every Muslim who learns with us. So this is the QR code that you can scan, and it will give you access to different things, to our community, to our course, to our all the channels. So with one QR code, you can open all the links. So if you want to scan it or take a screenshot, you can do it. I can wait a second. Okay, now we're moving to the Ask Me Anything session, which is open discussion for all of you. If you have questions regarding anything, let me know.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I had a question. So, how long have you been doing this for?
Which one, like cryptocurrency trading or
Yes, how long have you been
trading?
involved into this crypto space?
Crypto since the end of 2020, around November. It's been like 5 years.
Nice. And have you found success in it?
Alhamdulillah, my entire expenses come from it. I have built certain portfolios, and yeah, everything works great, bro. If that's what you call success, but yeah, every time my analysis is correct, that is a success for me. I don't measure myself according to how much money I have, but according to how I can solve problems and how I can manage my day-to-day life. And if the way our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if you have food on table and if you have a roof on your head, then you should be grateful. And that's what success is for me. Unlike everyone else, which they show off money and they uh, create hype, I don't do that. I say what is the truth. I don't have $1 million or a lot of money in crypto, but yeah, I have two businesses that I run right now, which is digital marketing that I do initially. And then I use that money to invest in crypto. Then I make money from that and I keep spending back and forth. So yes, it is like that for me. Is your question resolved?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, bro.
And also, I'm interested in where did you get this knowledge from? Did you study yourself or what's up?
I studied myself as well as I have been into different courses. I have spent uh, thousands of dollars studying it, literally, especially technical analysis through different teachers. And I can give a shout out to one is this Forex scalper because he taught me the technical analysis back in the days when I was doing Forex. But then obviously I left it. So his analysis and the method of him was really life-saving for me. And also Professor Adam, because I learned a lot from him as well. So shout out to them. And there are a lot of people as well, like still that I follow them, and they are very, very great traders inside X, which shout out to them as well. So there's a question in the chat that says, I have a question. Do you also do daily trading or long-term trading? Yes, not daily. Whenever if the market is good, it gives me trades on daily basis and on weekly basis. But when the market is down, I try to avoid a lot of the times. And I only buy and sell when there is a demand level on a chart. So I analyze it and I do very strict risk management. Then I trade according to that. I always have money in crypto despite the market going up or down. But sometimes I take a large amount, like I exit with certain amount and I keep it away from crypto. When the market comes back down, then I invest according to that. then alhamdulillah, I make money like this. Okay, any more questions, guys?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
There was a statement from one of my professors regarding the crypto, and that was that if this currency is not legal in one's country, then that's forbidden. What's your stance on this? That is it right that if it is not legal in your country, then you cannot indulge in that kind of trading, and if it is, then it's okay.
Okay, yeah, he is basically right, but you need to live in a system that is justice, or that is just, right? So far, find me a country that has a system that is just. If you have a system that is just, you don't need this currency. The currency of that country and the entire system of that country will uplift you, will always make you money. But what I am talking about is the slavery that is happening in this world. The ones that really bring revolution to this entire world are the ones that actually think differently than the current system. Each one of us is a soldier of Allah. Each one of us is Khalifa appointed from Allah in this world. This does not mean we should go against our system or how it is, but we can debate with the people that are handling that system. We can bring knowledge. And when it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's a software that runs in the blockchain. Nobody can say it's illegal. Can they stop you from using internet? Internet is everywhere, right? If you're using certain platforms, it's there, it's legalized. The only thing that makes Bitcoin illegal is our scholars that either they don't have enough education about it, or they are part of this corrupt system. Unfortunately, there are so many of them. I have researched. I'm not judging anyone, but according to what they're saying, it makes me curious. Like, why are you so much against it? If you bring me proper discussion and argument, then I would agree. If you bring me a system that is just, if you remove this central bank, they say that US dollar is halal. Is it? Now, if we don't question it, if we don't develop a system, if we don't educate ourselves, for example, I live in Turkey, and Turkey it is allowed. But when I travel in Pakistan, it just recently is getting legalization. But does that mean that I cannot use it? Can they stop it? If they can stop it, then go ahead and stop it. But that's the thing, that they say it is illegal, but they cannot stop it. There is 50 billion trading volume coming just from Pakistan. How did that happen? All this time it was illegal. How did people buy it? Because they cannot stop it. So if there is an emerging technology that can only be developed and you cannot stop it, you need to find a way to teach people, or you need to bring another system that can disrupt that, right? And I cannot find anything that is bad with the crypto. That why are they saying it's illegal? But when it comes to the central banks or the central bank currencies, which is the current fiat system that we're using, which is bad and it involves, it has interest, then why is that legal? These rules, bro, these rules are just for us people. The elites do not respect it. The people in the government, they do not respect it. I'm not saying that we should go against them. I'm saying that we need to reach that level of intellect so we can debate them. You understand me? Now, it depends on how you use it, how you think it is suitable for you. But if you run a Bitcoin miner at your home, they come and say that, why are you using a lot of electricity? Isn't it your right to use electricity? But because you're running miner and they see that how much electricity you use, they come and seize the miners from your house. Why? It has happened in China because they say it's illegal. This legality of something and something being illegal is a construct of humans' systems. We built it to imprison ourselves, but elites are using it to imprison the masses, not themselves. They can do whatever they want, but if that's why they're so against it, bro. If you don't want to use it, it's fine. But you need to at least gain the knowledge of how it's going to be. This is my problem with all these scholars that they say that it's illegal or it's haram. Then what about TikTok? What about Instagram? What about how our generation is losing their time being connected with this entire system of internet? They're not bringing any value. Then if something is illegal, it should be the internet itself. Why are we not doing something that is actually beneficial? All this new generation are going and adapting and buying cryptocurrencies through other means. So previously, they have made TV illegal. Then they did the same with radio as well. They did the same with printing press as well. That's why we are always far behind, because we don't use intellect. Allah never said, do not use your intellect. He always says to think. Why? It's because of the same reason that every time that there's a paradigm shift, there's a development in human psychology, we need to take it according to how that era is doing. But Quran is until eternity. We have stopped researching inside Quran. That's why we are far behind. But the disbelievers, they have built their civilizations using our methods, our knowledge. It's not ours. The Quran is for all the mankind, but I say it ours because we are Muslims. But they are doing the development. It's the job of all these scholars to do something about it, right? To fix it or to give us a proper way. Then if it's illegal or if it's such a bad thing, why are they legalizing it in Pakistan? Why did they legalize it in the US? Why are they legalizing it in Malaysia? Go and see what they're doing, right? And yes, it is illegal in my country, in Afghanistan. Taliban made it illegal. What reasons do they have? There is not enough information for me. But if I go someday, I will inshallah debate with them too. Like, give me a reason how it is illegal, right? Did I answer your question? Okay, any more questions?
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I'd like to ask about the White House post. I'm not sure if you've seen it, the Trump and the penguin, and like speculation on that, as well as the Mr. Beast ad that they're talking about, that he's gonna promote something, or have you gone into it?
I didn't get your question, sorry. Can you repeat it again? I tried, but I couldn't understand.
Have you seen the post from the White House with Trump and the penguin?
No. What does it say?
No, it just says like something to do with Greenland, and there's a lot of speculation on it. So I thought I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Is it related to money or crypto?
Yeah, crypto. Yeah.
I don't know. I try to like avoid anything that is new. If I get to know that something is very good and beneficial for humanity, then I will conduct research on it. Then if there is an opportunity, then I will take it. Otherwise, most of the time when things comes from government, I try to avoid it because whatever they say, it doesn't happen. The opposite of that happens. If you want proof for that, see at the time before October 10th, 2025, see what they were saying about Bitcoin going to $200,000 to $250,000. It's gonna go to the moon and whatnot. But that was the exact time that the Bitcoin price crashed and the entire cryptocurrency market crashed. And I made a video about it. And before it happens, 2 days before that, I said to everybody inside the community, if there is somebody from the community, they can agree that I told them that it has come to a point that I need to take a decision. And I took profits and the market crashed. And it was the same reason, because they manipulate the mind of the masses. They go against our emotions and how we think, and they change it. We need to think the opposite of that. Whenever they say something is going high or what, we need to check the chart if that is the case. So I can say the same thing for what you're saying, that if there's something good that is happening, I would let it happen. Then when I see a potential for it, and if everybody, if the market is calm and it's in a good position, then I will invest in it.
Jazakallah khair, my brother. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
No
I
problem.
really appreciate your help with helping halal income, like generating halal income. That's really important. And I appreciate you spreading the word. So thank you, man.
You're welcome. Thank you as well, bro. All the praises for Allah, bro. We have 1 minute left. Need to end the discussion. It's been straight 2 hours that I'm talking. So yeah, if there's any more question, let me know. Okay, I guess there isn't any questions. Thank you so much for all of you that you came and joined the Future of Money webinar, and you yeah, made my day. Thank you all, and yeah, I'll see you guys inside the community. I'll see you guys in the future webinars. We do have weekly analysis, and yeah, if you need my help in assessing anything, just send me a direct message and or email me. I'll answer it. Thank you. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.